Alright, hi guys, welcome back. This is Isaac Olmos with the Concrete Jungle in El Paso, Texas. Today we're going to talk about slipping. The way that we do it in mixed martial arts is a little bit different in boxing. For instance, doing a Floyd Mayweather and coming back is a huge no-no in mixed martial arts. This is giving up your takedowns, okay? So we don't want that back leg. We don't want our weight on the back leg. Also, we don't want to break the pyramid. So we don't want to come off to the sides. This is not good for takedown defense. This is also not good for sustaining kicks. Can't sprawl from this position. And also we don't want to bend at the hip. Okay? This is a huge no-no. Okay? Unlike boxing, we're asking for knees, you're asking for guillotines doing that. So when we're doing our movements, what you want to do is we want to focus on the knees bending. Okay? So my right shoulder coming to my left knee was what we call an outside slip. So my right shoulder is going to come into the left knee, and we're loading up on that left leg. That way you can throw from that position. Okay. And an inside slip coming towards my dominant hand. If I'm orthodox, my left shoulder is going to go to my right knee. So I pivot, and look at how our feet moves with that movement. So our left shoulder coming to the right knee, and then you can throw uppercuts, straights, hooks in that position. Okay. So let's talk about some of the jargon that we're talking about when we're slipping. If I say to the inside, that means towards my dominant hand. If you're orthodox, it'd be your right hand. Southpaw, that would be your left hand. Okay, coming in towards the inside, southpaw would be my left. Alright, so outside slip is going to be going towards my non-dominant hand to the outside of my stance. So inside towards my dominant hand, outside towards my non-dominant hand. Now don't confuse that with slipping inside and outside of punches. Alright, so I'm going to have Julian here. He's one of my fighters, going to be helping me out today. Okay, so if Julian pops a jab, I'm going to want to slip to the outside of that punch. Okay, and the beauty about slipping is I stay inside the pocket, so it's dangerous. So because of that danger, I tell my guys, if you're going to stay in the pocket and risk being hit, then you have to get a reward for that. You have to load up on that leg properly, and you have to respond with good shots. So the reason we slip to the outside of the punch is, number one, I'm safe here. He doesn't have arms here, okay? Number two, because that arm is extended, he has no defense on this side, so I can respond accordingly from that side. So let's say he pops a jab and I slip inside. This is not good, because what's going to happen is the first time Julian sees me do that, he understands it's a reaction, okay? That's not the response that I want to have. I should be slipping outside. So he's understand that that's not something in my control. It's not coming out of my training. That's coming out of fear. Okay, it's a mistake. So what he's going to do the second time is he's going to pop that jab, but this is going to be a facade because he wants me to slip to the inside of that stance, and then boom, that right straight's going to come. Okay, so you would feint and then throw the straight. All right, so don't mistake inside of my stance, outside of my stance, with me slipping to the outside of a punch and then to the inside of a punch. Okay. Now let's talk about how we actually do the slip. When I'm going towards the inside, what I want to do, remember with my straight punches, what I'm trying to do is get off this line, those straight punches coming in, okay? So I'm going to step out with the right foot, and that takes my head off of that center line, and then I collapse onto that right leg, so my left shoulder turns to my right foot. And now that I'm loaded up, now you can throw hard shots, okay? Now, if I'm fighting somebody that's staggered, the right side of their body is typically further away from me, so I want to penetrate just a little bit. So instead of stepping straight out like I did with my back foot, I'm going to step out at a 45-degree angle, so I'm coming in a little bit, and then I do the same thing, just the opposite direction, right shoulder to my left knee, and I load up on that left leg. So now I can throw hard shots with the left side, okay? Now remember, we want to slip first instead of going under. We're going to talk about the unders in 2 weeks when we come back on our striking instructional. But at first, when you're doing these, you want to exaggerate the movement. And that's because I make sure that my fighters are actually loaded up on that leg, and then they can really transfer the weight and respond with hard shots. But as you get a little bit more technical, and I'm not talking about, all right, I'm doing it right, and in 2 weeks you start shortening your movement. We don't want you to do that. I'm talking about years. Okay, so we shorten the movement because remember, the further we come out, the further we're going to come back. Okay, so the longer the distance, the longer the time it's going to take. And when it comes to striking, split seconds matter. But it turns into this, where my head comes right off center line, bam, and that's what your slip looks like. But at first you want to really exaggerate the movement, to make sure your fighters are getting to that left leg and to make sure they're putting their weight into the right place. Alright guys, thank you for checking out our videos. Please comment below. If you have any questions, go ahead and let us know and I'll try and respond in a timely manner. Thanks again and we'll see you next week.